What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live. What's up, guys? Welcome to the live. This is our second live, first of many. I'm here to help you guys, guide you guys, share my personal experience. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Where are you currently living? Welcome, my friends. Here to help you guys, guide you guys, share real world experience. Don't be shy, guys. This is a calm space. We're friends here. We're just chatting. You guys are interested in maybe going to living in a city, living in a town. Why not live in Medellin? Great question. Personally, I really like Medellin as far as cities goes. If I was going to live in a city, I would probably choose Medellin. However, I just don't particularly like the traffic. I don't like the city life. It's way different living in a small town. That's kind of what I came here for, is to homestead, live off the land and try to be as independent as possible. Our next goals are to put some solar panels on the house. Am I German? No, I'm not German. I'm from the United States. I'm from California, but I used to live in Germany. Spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, aber ich habe vergessen. I think I forgot most of my German. Anyways, guys, what's up? Welcome. Welcome. I appreciate your guys' questions. Please don't feel shy to ask. I'm here to help you guys. But yeah, Medellin is a great city. I really like Medellin. Paisas in general, really kind people, great people. Where's everybody connecting from? How's everybody's weekend going? Let me know, guys. I want to know, my viewers. Tell me about yourself, your goals for 2026. All right. Janice Hayer asks, best way to stay in Colombia long term? I want to live in Medellin for a few years. That's a good question. That really depends on your goals. In your current situation, if you're married, if are you in a relationship? You know, what are you trying to accomplish? Whether if you want to stay for a few years, then as my attorney pointed out, visa nomad, the nomad. So you'd have to go for something more long term, maybe a retiree visa, if you qualify for one of those. Okay, guys, what about now? I switched to nice one. Um, I switched to the mobile hotspot from Tigo. Welcome back, guys. Please, I appreciate your guys' comments. Thank you guys for interacting with me. I'm here to answer all of your questions. any doubts you have about Colombia, how much you think things cost, driver's licenses, tolls, travel, anything about quality of life here in Colombia. I would love to answer your questions and share some real world experience with you guys. Great question, Andrew. Yes, I do have a pension, and which is tax free in Colombia. In Colombia, there's no taxes on a pension. However, yes, I also use the tax exemption because I also work for various companies outside of the US. So if you're earning income, if you're earning money from a company that's not in the United States, then you can use the foreign earned income exemption, and it's up to like 100 and something thousand. So definitely, I'm going to be covering foreign earned income exemption in future videos, as well as we need to declare our when you move to Colombia, if you have more than $10,000 in any any foreign account in Colombia, you need to declare that to the United States. Um, but if you don't, that includes your spouse. So if you're married and you and your spouse have collectively $10,000 or more, then you just declare that and let it know. There's an online government website you go to and you just declare it. It takes like, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to be putting that in a video. It's very important. Thank you for your questions. So what city is everybody looking at? Like, are you looking to live in a rural area like me, or do you want to live in a city near the coast? Like, tell me about your plans, your goals, your dreams, because there's a lot of different lifestyles in Colombia. We have a desert here. If y'all didn't know, we can talk about culture. You know, I'll fill some space with culture, and so there's a thing called Ora Colombiano, and it's just here. I was a little surprised when I would set an appointment or something. I would go and get my hair cut, and I'd end up waiting a little bit longer. And that's something I kind of took some getting used to. But time here is a little more flexible, guys, especially in social settings. So it's not about disrespect, it's just a different cultural rhythm, right? So in social settings, it's super normal for people to show up like 15 to 45 minutes late. Like that's normal. You can even expect it. Right. So showing up on time actually feels kind of rushed or awkward. Isn't it dangerous to live in a village there? Janice asks. I feel safe in a big apartment building in Medellin with security. When I went to the mountains in Colombia, I felt unsafe. So Colombia is situationally safe. So I always tell people to make good choices. Always show respect to people, and situational awareness, and like you won't catch me going hiking off into the jungle in some random direction. Like I wouldn't recommend that. um so that is something. But yeah, the day to day, guys, like I've never felt unsafe here in my town. I'm the only American here. I'm the only gringo, if you want to call me that, and I just live like everybody else does, and I've never felt unsafe. And a lot of other expats can share similar experiences. I think what helps is also I'm married to a Colombian, so the integration portion is maybe a little more smoother because people might think, oh, his family is Colombian, so he's more or less kind of one of us, or he's integrating into our society. Um, you don't look so much like an outsider, maybe. And that's what a Colombian shared with me the other day. So, what is your opinion about the current situation in Minnesota? Your opinion about ICE? To be honest, I don't really have an opinion. I actually don't really watch the news, and I'm not really aware of what's happening in the US. I kind of stay in my own bubble here in Colombia. I don't even watch Colombian news. I just live my life and focus on my family. And now I'm really focusing on this YouTube channel. But thank you guys so much for your questions. Depending on what you're worried about, danger can have various different forms in Colombia. Joe, okay, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. Just try to avoid situations. Don't put yourself in situations that could be avoided, right? They say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In terms of safety, is it up to each Colombian department? There is a super safe one like Boyaca, and there are super unsafe ones like Cauca. So just check where you want to be and how safe it is. I think that's really a good point. I've heard a lot of things about Cauca. I've never been there personally. Um, Good point, though. Yeah, depending on where you are, the levels of risk goes up or down. I think the import is crazy in Colombia. I think so too. Really, I was disappointed that I couldn't import my vehicle. I really wanted to bring my Cadillac from the States, but in Colombia, you can't import used vehicles. They have to be new, and that I believe it has to do with taxes. And so Colombia, cars are not necessarily cheap here. You pay a premium on vehicles due to taxes. Um, what is your job? Great question. So you might notice behind me, I teach English during the day, and I also have various clients. I help them build websites and I help them with search engine optimization. So I'm an SEO expert and I teach English, and now I'm a full-time YouTuber. So a few jobs. I'll keep that in mind. Definitely will keep that in mind, Johan. The next place I'm going to is Santa Marta. It's never been there before. The farthest I've been was Cartagena, and personally, I wasn't too impressed with Cartagena. It was very touristy, and that's kind of a vibe I try to stay away from. But a beautiful city with a lot of history. If that's what you're into, I recommend it if you're into history for sure. But the beaches, the sand is black, so don't expect, really nice, pretty beaches because the sand is black. It's not that the water is dirty, but we like that white sand. Excellent. Where would you recommend I go? Which beach in Santa Marta? Santa Marta has the only nude beach in the whole country, and I find that kind of interesting. So I might check it out. You know better Colombia than a lot of Colombian people. Thank you. That's really cool of you to say that. Tyrona, yes, that's a national territory, isn't that? Tyrona, heard that. A national, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like a national park, right? Colombia is underdeveloped. In some ways, yes. Jonas asks, is Colombia underdeveloped? I'd say their school systems are definitely underdeveloped. Here in rural Colombia, you can see small little schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools even, like super humble, super simple. Yo, what's up? Buddha's Nightmare, my brother. Welcome to the live stream. Shout out to all the veterans out there in the world. Much love and respect. So, what's y'all's timelines like? You guys plan to come to Colombia anytime soon on vacation, or you have plans to come here? Um, Great question. All right. So, Andrea Espinosa says, well, the sand is not totally black in Cartagena. Yeah, that's right. Baru. Andrea, I loved Baru. There's a hotel right there. Super enjoy the hotel resorts in Baru. Mecca asks, how stable is the net out there in rural areas? Not stable at all. Not stable at all. In fact, I'll be switching to Starlink very soon. I'm going to the States next month, Lord willing. And when I come back, I I plan to invest in Starlink. Startup cost in Starlink out here, $400 for the equipment, but after that, it's only $65 a month. So it's actually quite reasonable. Um, Baru's overrated and expensive. Okay, that's one perspective. Personally, I haven't found a better beach than Baru. I actually checked out the coast, Pacific coast, in a city called Buenaventura, and I didn't enjoy that city at all. The beaches were not nice, and the city was didn't look nice at all. Nice, congratulations, brother. I'm so happy to see more veterans down here in Colombia living the life. Sometimes, yeah, locals do try to pull a fast one, so to speak, but it's important to do your research, do your homework, right? It especially helps when you surround yourself with Colombian friends and you know how much things cost. But that gets easier. The more time you spend in Colombia, you know how much things cost. You know who's got a good reputation as a good, honest, hard worker, and you know how to shop, right? Do you teach English to the local people? Yes, I do. In fact, I'm teaching a 12-year-old boy now. Him and his father come, and I teach them right here in my classroom. And we also do that live on TikTok. We broadcast our English lessons live on TikTok. Yeah, I agree. The American dream is to leave the US. Man, it's going to be such a shock, culture shock when I go back to the US. I haven't been to the US in 4 years. I'm about to make all kinds of content, things that I miss, but then things I don't miss, like obviously the prices. Go to the grocery store and spend $5 for an avocado. Like, what? That's right. It is a port city. Uh-huh. It's not, but the people were friendly. I enjoyed it. They had a good vibe. Those people there were nice, at least. Buenas noches, Carlos, David, ¿qué más pues? Shout out to the Colombians in the chat. Playa Arife says when you're in Santa Marta. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate these. I'm a big hiker. I'm really big into the outdoors. So I'm taking notes, guys. Taking notes. By the way, guys, I just want to put this out there. If you want to chat with me personally, I'll give you my WhatsApp number. It's one way we can chat directly. Thank you for promoting this beautiful country. We love, Andrea says, we love when people from other countries come enjoy Colombia. Living in Canada. Oh, so how are you feeling up there with the cold weather, Andrea? And where are you from in Colombia? Palomino, Guajira. I'm taking notes, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate all these wonderful comments. Don't be shy, guys. If you have a question, just want to chat, we're friends here. We're just talking. It's a calm space. I totally agree with you. Right from the source, bro. Right from the farmer, even. Like, if you know a farmer and you can pay directly to the farmer, that's the plug, bro. Did you hear Ecuador will be imposing a 30% tariff soon? Things will likely get even more expensive for you. Interesting. I didn't hear that, but I'm interested in which products are imported into Colombia from Ecuador. I'm going to investigate that. Would love to know. What's up, guys? Welcome to the chat. So good to have everybody here. I hope everyone's having a great weekend. I love doing these lives with you guys, get to know everybody, the community, make some new friends. Um, a lot of us have common ground. We share similar dreams or uh, we might cross paths. So it's good to have this community here. How's the internet, guys? I'm streaming here from my cell phone. What's up, guys? So here's a question for you guys. Would you trade a higher income for a lower cost of living? Yeah, good point, Johan. Colombia produces many natural things. It's abundant in natural resources, especially gold. Absolutely, guys. So, yeah, somebody mentioned Bogota. I do like Bogota. I like to visit family out there. It's a little cold for my taste, but Bogota has some nice things to visit. I think last time we went to some amusement park, which was very unique. I felt it had a very classic vibe. And they even had some old Navy ships that were American Navy ships that were donated to Colombia, and they of course had to take it apart and put it in pieces in order to transport it from the port into Bogota, which was very interesting. Johan, but for the average Colombian, barely getting by as it is a little can make a difference. Salt Church. I've not heard of the Salt Church. Sounds cool. Manizales, bro. I passed by Manizales and I regret it when I was going through to Buenaventura. I regret not stopping by, so I'm definitely gonna check it out. Hey, thank you, Pony. I appreciate that. Blessings. Welcome to the chat. Good evening, my friends. Everybody having a great weekend? Hope so. Are there many American people leaving the country? To be honest with you, I would probably say not as much as I don't know. I think many people are afraid to take that leap. They're afraid to just get after it. There's too many people that are just stuck to the TV. And I think that the television paints such a false picture of reality that people just, the things that I get in my DMs, which was like everything that they say on the news. People talk about, well, we don't really have to go into what they talk about because everybody knows what they say on the news about Colombia, but it's totally false. You have to come here and experience it for yourself, to really see the truth. Do you think the increase in minimum wage and subsequent inflation will affect you? Absolutely. I think anytime the government prints more money, it affects everybody negatively. Sorry for the dogs, guys. Anytime there's more currency in existence, things are going to cost. Currently, the United States dollar is floating around 35.75, which is like a big difference. What's up, guys? How is it now? Is it better? Can you guys? There we go. Looks like we might have a good connection again. I appreciate y'all's patience. Thank you for rocking with me. Um, but don't worry, that'll be a problem of the past when I return in March. Lido Trades, what's up, man? Nice to have you here. Welcome to the community. I also enjoy trading. I don't know if you do options or futures or anything, but that's cool, bro. I like your name. I'm quite concerned about the rising cost of housing and the level of debt among citizens of the United States. Housing is becoming increasingly inaccessible. I would say, get out here as soon as you can, but don't rush things like in the sense of, not doing your research, not doing your due diligence, like get on it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to be here sharing my experience with you guys. And one of my goals is to help you guys save time, energy, and money and to prevent mistakes. Like I wish I had somebody to tell me and mentor me like, hey, Chris, do this, this, and this, and here's why. This is what happened to me. Um, yeah, absolutely. Housing in the United States is coming inaccessible. And you know what's crazy to me is that here where I live in this state of Colombia, the taxes on property is super cheap. Like maybe like 100 a year, like wow. How legal is it to buy and build prefabricated homes? Well, it's perfectly legal. What I recommend is getting your build registered, because that's going to protect you legally. There are regulations and laws in place that, although they're not really enforced, it's still, always good to do the right thing and follow the procedure. And it will increase the value of your taxable amount, but it is what it is. Um, Greetings from Barranquilla. Hey, shout out to Barranquilla. Great to have you all. Are you Colombian or American or from another country? Bienvenidos. Perfectly legal lawyers. That's right. Welcome, guys. Appreciate y'all's questions. 2.5 years ago, and thinking of doing the move permanently from Miami. Bro, do it. Absolutely. Absolutely recommend coming down here. I wouldn't recommend doing it without an attorney as far as your paperwork goes. Like Colombia is super bureaucratic when it comes to paperwork, and it'll save you so much headaches just to have an attorney do it, bro. And even if you have an attorney, you can still expect, like for example, in my small town, there's like the place where you register your papers, but they didn't even want to deal with me as a foreigner. They never dealt with a foreigner. And so they just gave me a bunch of excuses and then they sent me to the city. I had to go all the way to Medellin, travel 3 hours like multiple times because in my small town they didn't want to process the paperwork. So that was my experience. Anyways, there's public notaries you got to go to. You'll be making back and forth trips to the notary, apostilling your documents. Absolutely. I promise you guys, when I get back from the States in March, I'm going to have Starlink because this internet that I have is not dependable. Oh, okay. Nice one. Oh, if you're a dual citizen, you're good to go. No, absolutely not. You have a right to come freely back and forth from the United States and into Colombia. I don't think you need a visa at all. You're a citizen, so you're good to go. The population of where I'm at, Buddha's Nightmare, great question. Last time I checked, it's about 13,000. With such a small population, you see the same people all the time, which is kind of cool. Landing in Bogota Thursday. Excellent. Glad to hear that, brother. Enjoy your time in Bogota. Make sure you bring a jacket. It's kind of chilly. Okay, same square feet in Bogota will go to the roof in taxes, while in someone like a small town, you'll pay quite less. That's true. That is true. Rural areas are taxed so much less. Yes, I do grow my own food. I have papayas growing on the property, lemons. I have an apple tree. Let's see what else. Mandarins. I have orange trees. While I've been here, I've had tomatoes, peppers, a couple others. I just can't think of it at the moment. I have my schedule already, and when I enter Colombia, I enter as a Colombian. But now I'm concerned with buying property there. The taxes are more than U.S. Lido, it depends on the state that you're living in. Each state has their own tax rules or tax rates. Here in Antioquia, in rural Colombia, I live in Cañas Gordas. It's very, very cheap. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm just doing the best I can with what I got for now, guys. But I'll have Starlink waiting for me when I get back, and I look forward to making a video for y'all installing it and showing you guys what that looks like. Yeah, Guadalupe, I just got back from Guadalupe, guys, and I was so impressed with just how much it looked like there was like lots of land available. Like I mean, I'm from northern Nevada and California, that area. And if you notice about Lake Tahoe, there's houses just lined up along the coast, along the lake. Anything lakefront is like prime real estate. But I was looking at Guadalupe and I was like, man, there's so much land over here available. Like I would love to buy a little lot and build a cabin right there on the lake. Yeah, it's beautiful, bro. Absolutely. The glamping there is super nice. Ponme explains, asks, I'm not very familiar with the topic, but as far as I know, taxes are paid based on your salary and you have to pay them no matter where you are in the world. It's a bit scary in the United States, although the amount was somewhat high. So, in regards to Colombian taxes, of course, have an accountant, let them deal with it. But everything that comes into your Colombian bank account, once you get a cedula and you get a visa as a migrant, you are eligible for a Colombian bank account. Not just a bank account, like all the services. And in that video with my attorney, he explains it in better detail. But, let's say you're transferring money to your bank account. I've actually broken every year I go over the limit because there's only a set amount of money. It's like $7,000 a month that you can send every month. And if you go over that, then you can't send any more money. And so all that money that goes into your bank account essentially of course, it's tracked and you're going to have to declare renta, which is like declaring your income. Okay. But yeah, and the beautiful thing about Colombia is that attorneys don't cost very much and neither do accountants. So don't be afraid to have them deal with that. Life is so much easier when you have the professionals just take care of that for you. Welcome everybody to the live stream. I love sitting here chatting with you guys and sharing experiences. As you can tell, there's a lot of people here with experience in Colombia as well. So thank you guys for sharing that value and making the live stream that much better. People talk a lot about safety in Colombia, and I think, man, it's so much hype, so much cap. Like I feel way more safer in my small town in Colombia than I ever did living in California. I think it's like randomly a crime would happen in the United States, wrong place, wrong time, and just bad luck. Like, man, that was just bad luck. But here, I think it's more of situationally. Like in small town Colombia, it's like a cause and effect, right? For example, some random person hypothetically breaks into somebody's house. Well, that doesn't fly here. So people don't really do that, right? Because there's an order in place. We'll just say that. And so in reputation is everything. So as long as you just, show respect to people, keep your nose clean and don't put yourself in, situations that, for example, I don't go to bars. I'm not out there drinking and doing any of that scene. And I haven't had any issues, guys. I've been here 4 years and I've never felt more safe. I feel way safer here than I felt in the States. Hope that makes sense to y'all. Yes, I do speak Spanish. Sí, hablo español. Um, Todavía yo hago muchos errores, pero yo siento muy bien aquí en mi pueblo. Yo puedo comunicar con todas las personas sin problema. Pero la verdad, quiero y necesito una maestro o maestra de español. Saludos, Alex Andercano. ¿Qué más pues? Gracias por tus deseos. I love Colombia, guys. I'm sure you do too. The only problem with Colombia is not wanting to leave. I don't want to leave. How's everybody doing tonight? How is everybody doing, my friends? So happy to have y'all here. What's everybody drinking tonight? No aguardiente part for me. Got that chocolate milk. Thank you so much, Andrea. I appreciate it. Have you ever, Andrew asks, have you ever thought about making longer form videos exploring the small rural towns around Colombia? Absolutely. In fact, I have friends in Debeba and they keep saying to me, bro, let's go and make videos about the indigenous people. And I really want to do that because there's an indigenous tribe there in Debeba, a very similar, a small rural town close to me. And I do want to make a longer former videos, guys, but I just want to say my style of making videos is to be comprehensive, but yet concise. Like, I try to fill a lot into a small space. I respect y'all's time, and I want to make sure that there's not things that are unnecessarily long and everything kind of flows. And I can put it in a small amount as possible. Absolutely, guys. It's such a pleasure to be here sharing my experience with you guys, and thank you for sharing your experience with me as well. We can learn on both sides. I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, if you guys like this live stream, hit that like. I would appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I've always been looking to trade a. I'm an English teacher, as you can maybe tell from behind me. I teach English every day on TikTok, and TikTok is mostly a Colombian audience. So I would love to trade English for Spanish. That would help me a lot. Yeah, that would be great. In fact, I actually have a Discord. If you guys want to tap into my Discord channel, it's designed for English learners, but it's a space we can definitely chat. I'll go ahead and put it in the chat for you guys. What's up, Giovanni? Que más pues? Welcome, guys. That's right. Colombia es una belleza. And people keep asking me about driver's licenses and how you get them, and my only response is, it's a little informal. That's all I'm gonna say. You'll see that when you get here. So, what matters more to you guys, community or amenities? Like, would you rather have all the conveniences of living in a city, or would you like to live in a smaller town in Colombia, a rural area, and not have so many amenities, but have a really strong community? So many great questions, so many things here. Okay, so there's certain topics I can't speak about here in the chat. I don't want to get censored or nothing, but I'm with you guys. I understand. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in freedom, the right to make your own choices. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you know, you know. Okay. So security. Let's talk about security. Yeah, I feel in small town Colombia, absolutely, it's secure, guys. Well, situationally, just show respect to people and don't cause any trouble, and you don't have to worry about nothing. Also, don't be humble. Like, if you if you have money, you don't have to show that. You can just dress modestly. You don't have to wear like nice watches. Just you can be humble. It's okay. Hey, Trevor, what's up? Good to see you again, bro. You prefer the small community? Uh huh. All right, cool. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah, the country people are super nice. Everybody knows everybody. That's right. Just keep a low profile. Don't overshare, But one thing I did notice is that Colombians are very curious about foreigners. So they'll ask a lot of questions that might seem personal, but it's not, don't take it personal. They just are curious. They want to know about you. And would you say a white gold watch also don't wear it or steal? Like, I wouldn't wear a Rolex. if that answers your question, brother. Definitely don't wear a Rolex. But like maybe a citizen watch, like a black citizen watch or something would might be fine. But I wouldn't be paranoid like that somebody's going to rob you. But my advice is just it's okay to be humble. I have to step out, you guys. All right. Nice to see you, DJ Bunny. Welcome. Thanks for being here with us. I definitely love Colombia, Juliana. Definitely. In fact, what a privilege it will be if I could be a Colombian citizen someday. Colombian. I think a lot of people know how to pronounce Colombia, but we just have a habit of saying Colombia, right? What visa do you have and was it hard to get? Great question. I started out with a visitor's visa, and my attorney recommended that I extend my visitor's visa 6 months, well, to an additional 3 months for a 6 month total, so we can go ahead and square away my visa. So then we did the migrant based on marriage. So I'm married to a Colombian, and we did everything. Be diligent and be proactive when it comes to your papers. My attorney recommends to do your visa in the United States before you even arrive to your country. I'm sorry, before you even arrive to Colombia. That way you're not fighting against the clock like I was. But yeah, and you got to be diligent with your papers because if you're waiting on an apostille and you can only be in the Colombia for 6 months, like that apostille needs to come, right? But you don't have that stress if you're already in your home country. You just handle all your paperwork, and it's much easier to get a apostille. You don't have to pay for FedEx and all this extra things. You just walk into your local government office, get your stuff apostilled, and much easier. And was it hard to get? With an attorney, not as hard as it would have been. I would say it's almost impossible without an attorney because of the bureaucracy in Colombia. But even with an attorney, dealing with some of these offices, and there was delays that were unnecessary. Um, it was frustrating, I will say, but we got it done. I had to continue going back and forth to the city, and I think that was the most frustrating part. But if you are living in a city, your experience will be much more smoother, I would say. Hey, take care, Johan. Good to see you. Nice to see everybody in the community here. We're just chatting, guys. Aztec spells, parasites. I have no idea what that is, Familia Sanchez. Please let me know. Let me know what it is that you're talking about. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. So happy to meet you guys. I hope one day I have the privilege to meet some of y'all in person. And when I go back to the United States, I'm going to be in Northern California and I'm going to be in Northern Nevada. So make sure you guys reach out. We can connect on Instagram. That's my Instagram. Y'all can send me messages and we can chat. It would be cool to have a drink or something, have some pizza. Do I ever come to Miami? Bro, yes, I do. In fact, my brother lives in Miami. He lives in Fort Lauderdale, and I plan on visiting him this year. Ah, got it. Got what you mean. So basically, our water is non-potable, and when we get it, we boil it in a stainless steel. like 2 liter, one of those ones you connect to the wall, and it boils it. And then afterwards, we got a super nice water filter made of ceramic and black charcoal, or sorry, not black charcoal, activated charcoal. And using the boil first, we let it go to room temperature, and then we filter it. And our water quality is super good for drinking. Exactly, it's really pure. There's so much water here, like man, it rains all the time. Nearest big city, Medellin. And some of the things I go there for is we go to a place called Home Center, and sometimes we buy things for our house like tile and lights, um, refrigerators like that one. Bought that at Home Center. How did you get into teaching English? Did you need formal training or experience to do that? Also, is it difficult with your current level of Spanish? Great question, Andrew. All right. So when I got here, I'm a Christian. I asked God, I said, you know what? What should I do, Lord? How can I serve people? And how can I work here and be productive? And he answered me, be an English teacher. I said, all right, de una. So I was using my GI Bill to finish my degree in digital marketing. And as soon as I finished my digital marketing degree, I went into a graduate school program at a Christian university called Messiah. And I did a 2-year program, also paid for by the GI Bill post 9/11. And I was earning post 9/11 benefits here while I was in Colombia. So that was really nice. Took me 2 years to get my teaching license, call in teaching English to speakers, TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages. Highly recommend that methodology of teaching English because it's very communicative and very authentic. We teach students in the context of their life, their goals, and their needs. So everything results in real world useful English. That's basically simplified what the program teaches. And amen. It's so good to see my brothers and sisters in Christ here in the chat. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Post 9/11 benefits. So when you serve in the Army, a lot of us get in our contracts. A lot of us have in our contracts um, college, basically. You say, okay, I'm going to serve in this amount of contract in the military, and then I'm also going to receive education benefits. And education benefits, so you can get a little bit of money while you go to school, and your school's all paid for. And is it difficult with my current level of Spanish? Actually, um, sorry guys. So I use Spanish to supplement my English to make sure it's comprehensible. So that's another video I'm going to be making about how to earn money in Colombia as an English teacher. It's a great way to earn money because there's a lot of people interested in English here, and English teachers are needed. There's not enough English teachers, guys. Praise God, Joe. Thank you for sharing, brother. Shout out to all the veterans here. Love to see you guys here in the chat. Yeah, Andrew, in fact, brother, I would recommend a company. I'm going to share with you guys my experience. I work for a company currently called Native Camp, and the platform's not perfect, but I found of all the platforms I worked for, this one and another one called Cambly, I like Native Camp more. Most of your students will come from Japan or Taiwan. I've been working with them for 3 years, and you bond with your students. Like I really enjoy coming to work and teaching my students every day. Well, I don't teach every day anymore, but I look forward to seeing my students, and because they've been my students for a long time. But the platform is super simple. You just have to teach a minimum of 10 classes a week. And they pay, if you get a reservation, you get $18 an hour. But each class is maximum 25 minutes. So it comes out to be like $9 for a 25-minute slot. So you make like 18 something per hour if you get back to back reservations, which is really good money here in rural Colombia, even in the cities. Like, damn, good. I'm trying to log into the system. I can share with you guys, actually, you can teach from anywhere in the world. If you're a native English speaker, you get paid more. If you're non-native English speaking teacher, you get paid less. What's up, guys? Welcome to the live stream. Welcome everybody to the community. I feel so grateful to have you guys here, my friends, into the community. We're building something here that's going to be useful and great for a long time to come. I pray in Jesus' name. It'll be a good side gig and meet and serve the community. Absolutely, brother. It is a very good gig. In fact, I'll share with you my referral link, and if you sign up, and you can just test it and see how you like it before you even come to Colombia. Um, but if you're dedicated and serious about teaching English, even just on Native Camp, the platform, you can probably pull, realistically, you can probably pull between $600 and $1,000 every 2 weeks. Now, sometimes they run a campaign. I'm an avatar teacher, so I teach as like a Mickey Mouse. But if you're a real teacher, then it's a whole different game because the students can like actually book you directly. When I get bookings, it's just the system giving me reservations, which is different. So you can either be an avatar teacher and teach as like a avatar. If you're American, you teach as a Mickey Mouse, and the students don't see your face, and you use like a voice changer. Or you can be a regular teacher, and they'll see your face and the camera. And some teachers are really popular, and they have constant bookings, and they earn between 2,500 and maybe $4,000 a month, which is great money here in Colombia. Shoot. Absolutely, brother. I'm so happy. And thank you guys for your comments and your questions. It helps me to direct the channel and figure out what kind of content I need to make and when. Yeah, dude. Lido, I don't know if you've heard of the Whale Squad, bro. I'm still a member of the Whale Squad, and for a while there, I was trading, and but I swear last year I got cooked, bro. I got cooked. I got cooked for like 8,000 bucks. Um, so I've been like, you know what? I'm just gonna create this channel, and I'm gonna go full force in it. But I'm still down to trade. Like, I'm not afraid to trade. I just consider that tuition. $8,000 tuition losing while trading options. That's fine. It's just market tuition is what they call it. And I appreciate you offering that. That's really kind of you, Lido. Okay, Trevor asks, I need to finish the video with the attorney. I understand the pay would be good for living there, but is the teaching pay high enough to meet the income requirements for a visa? So the income requirement is 3 Colombian salary minimum, so around $1,800 or 1,600. My attorney pointed it out. It can be, you know. The thing with Native Camp is it's a little bit with this particular platform. So I would recommend like double dipping and working for multiple companies. Also work for yourself. You can market yourself on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You start your own YouTube channel and start making English teaching videos. Like there's a lot of ways to go about this. But definitely I would use, Cambly, Native Camp, any company that you can meet the requirement. That would be a way. Um, Once we get over there, she won't be able to find a job because she says that in Colombia, after 30 years old, you can't find a job. Brother, do you mean like, I'm sorry, could you rephrase that, brother? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Do they provide curriculum? Yes, they do. They are they do provide curriculum, and some students just want to do free chat. And but the curriculum is super easy to teach, like really easy to teach. So it'll just be like daily news, and you go from top to bottom. And over time, you don't even have to think about it. It's automatic, really easy. Tough guy, yes, I do receive a pension. Lido, you might be better off looking for an online job. Yes, absolutely. It's good to have, well, the only thing I know about online is if you do SEO, you can self teach yourself SEO and find clients there. You can self teach yourself how to build websites like WordPress or Wix. Um, there's another one. Damn, I forgot. Oh, personally, I like WordPress the most. There's a lot of ways to make money online, guys. Yes, you can. I recommend opening those accounts before you leave. You can still use United States addresses if you have family in the United States. Like I have mail that go to the United States. In fact, one of the biggest challenges I've had here is having a US cell phone number and receiving text messages. Like anytime you've got a US bank and you try to log into your bank account, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, we need to send you a text message to a US phone number." And I'm like, "Damn." So I use my mom's phone number and I say, "Hey, mom, can you send me the the four-digit code?" And that works for me. Before I had a thing called Text Now, but they kind of shut that down and that doesn't work anymore. So if you guys have a solution about having a US text a US phone number while in Colombia, like I'm all ears, guys, because none of the old apps I used to have work anymore. Do you need some exams to get into this company you're talking about? How do they verify someone is native? Great question, Kinta K. So, how do they verify is they actually the process is quick. If you say you're a native, I believe I gave them a picture of my passport, and then they'll set you up with an interview, and somebody will call you that they hire a lot of people from the Philippines, but their English is really good. And well, they'll set you up with like a video chat, and they'll actually email you, and they'll send you the link to the video chat, and it'll be like, okay, on this date we've got to have this little interview, and you'll just have a quick chat with them. They'll say, all right, this person's native, and done deal. Um, After that, I remember I think I was activated the very next day. I'm trying to send you all my referral link because if you use my referral link to set up your account, we both get like I don't know, like $10 or something, but it's something. Okay, she would like to continue working, but it's a prominent job in Colombia after 40 years old. Oh, I understand. Well, she's a Colombian citizen, so she has the right to work there, and it just depends. I would just make friends in the local community. I don't know about the cities; I can't speak on it, but here in the small towns, I wouldn't worry too much about finding a job. I would just focus on networking and making friends, and I think a job opportunity would come to your wife. How long have I been in Colombia? I've been in Colombia for 4 years. And the weather and humidity and pollution where I live, the air is super clean. The weather, sometimes it rains really, really hard, and the streets can be a little flooded, and that washes out. Landslides happen, and that's one of the risks here. Is that along the sides of the road, there's mountains along the highways. They'll become super saturated with water, and then all of that, it's a landslide. So I recommend traveling too often during heavy raining seasons. Temperature, good question. It's about where I live on average between 20 and like 26. And the coldest it's been is about like maybe 15. That's about the coldest. So I'm gonna make sure I get to all your guys' questions. I've seen some of your short videos. You are brave by trying all those types of street foods. Yeah, you're right. I need to be a little more careful and be a little more selective. But I usually give everybody one shot. I am Rolo Colombiano from Bogota. I feel great that you came here to Colombia and make a life. Thanks, bro. I got some good friends that are Rolos. I find that the Rolo Spanish is the easiest to understand. Do you trade options or a swing trader? I like to do a little bit of leap trading now these days. I kind of like to study a little bit the companies and think where this company is going to go, and then maybe do like a leap. I feel it's maybe lower risk. Of course, it's more expensive, but let me see. Some of the worst trades I've had is I got super cooked on SMCR, no, SMLR, which was a Bitcoin proxy company, and the proxy wasn't as close as I thought it was, and I got cooked pretty good on that one. Let's see. I'm a bit of a Bitcoin maxi, so like these days I'm just saving money in Bitcoin, and that's kind of my strategy. Just set it and forget it. Any need for central AC? None at all. We don't have air conditioner. We don't have heaters. None of that. We just open our windows up when it's hot. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying to drop it, guys. I'm trying to drop my language teaching site. It's just my internet's a little slow. I think I finally got it to load. Here we go. Let's see. Yes. All right, guys. Here's my referral link. That's my referral link. If you use it and you successfully complete here, try this one. I think that's one's a better link. If you successfully complete like 10 lessons, then we both get the incentive. Let me know how it goes too, guys. Like I've been teaching native camp English on native camp for a long time. And I actually recommend the company. And I especially recommend the students. Japanese students are really kind people. And it's more or less like stress-free teaching. Joe B, absolutely, brother. You can live comfortably here on your pension for sure, especially in rural Colombia. I recommend it. Absolutely. How are you doing with the language? I would say good. In fact, if anybody wants to have a chat in Spanish, ask me something in Spanish and I'll go ahead and try to respond. Pero todos los días yo estoy practicando en contexto de la vida mía y ya, en el principio fue muy difícil, pero poco a poco por poco, todos mis amigos son colombianos y see, when you guys are learning another language, don't think about Spanish as like something super difficult to learn, guys, because as an English language teacher, everything's about learning in context, all right? Your brain is going to figure things out. You're going to learn the verbs, you're going to learn how to say it, you're going to hear it constantly. And here we're in a Spanish as a second language context, which if you don't know what that means, if there was a Colombian living in the United States, they would be in an English as a second language context. So that means they're surrounded by English, they're immersed in the other language. And that's the same context that you're going to be in when you move to Colombia, right? Everything is in Spanish and you are going to improve whether you like it or not. You're going to learn Spanish. ¿Cómo fue para ti irte de Estados Unidos a Colombia? ¿Tuviste miedo o no? La verdad no, hermano, porque antes yo moví a Colombia, yo estaba viajando a Colombia con mi esposa y pasando tiempo aquí en el pueblo. Yo estaba emocionado para vivir aquí, muy emocionado, porque eso no fue nuevo para mí. ¿Qué es eso? Moto. Pero no, la verdad, yo no, nunca tenía miedo. I was never afraid, guys, about moving to Colombia. Not one time was I afraid. I felt excited for the adventure. And I think you guys should be too. Be excited, experience everything. You know, I'm going back to the United States for the first time in 4 years, and I'm not that excited. Right. But anyways, I am excited about some things. You know, I'm a fan of craft beer. I'm a fan of American food, specifically like craft burgers and craft pizza and stuff like that. Tevzi asks, ¿qué es lo que más te impactó de Colombia? ¿Fue difícil adaptarte a la cultura or se te hizo fácil? So he's asking, what impacted me the most? What was the most difficult to adapt to in the culture, or did I find it to be easy? Um, I would say just kind of getting rid of some of my American norms, you know, to understand and realize like this is not the United States. People are different here. It's a different culture. Like when you're interacting with people, you can't interact with them the same way that you would with an American because Colombian people are more calm. They're more easygoing, especially Paisas, right? So they're more easygoing on time. They're more focused on the relationship. Like, you know, and you might think something is disrespectful or you might think you might be offended by something, but that wasn't their intention. It's just a different culture. So I would say, like, check your American culture at the door and open your heart and your mind to a different way of life. Okay. That's going to help you a lot, guys. Just immerse yourself and integrate in this new culture and try to just be cognizant and remind yourself, like, hey, this is a different place. Chris, ahora Colombia es tu hogar y tus amigos ahora serán tus hermanos. Ahora eres un colombiano más. Bienvenido tú y todas las personas de Estados Unidos que quieren vivir aquí. Ay, bro, that was so nice for you to say that. So Edwin says, guys, that now Colombia is your home and your friends are your brothers. Now you are one Colombian more. Welcome you and all of the people from the United States that want to live here. Super nice. Very, very nice message. Thank you, brother. Gracias, hermano. Excelente. Qué energía. Thank you, brother. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm speaking from experience too. You know, I'm not perfect and it took me some time to adapt, but now I can definitely say, like, it's good to just be flexible and don't be offended by things that are different. Just get used to it, you know? I'll give you a practical example. When I first got here, I went to a barber appointment and I had to wait 30 minutes. I mean, that's kind of a long time, but I was waiting 30 minutes past my appointment time and I felt at the time a little like, it's a little bit disrespectful for my time, right? Because, you know, I got things to do too. But now that I've been living here for 4 years, like I just plan, like, okay, it could take 30 minutes longer before he starts cut my uh, taxes. Do you file taxes in the two countries? Yes, you do. If you're an American citizen, you're required. You are required to file taxes every year. That doesn't matter where you are in the world. We always going to file taxes every year. Um, and yes, you file taxes in Colombia. In fact, I have my accountant that we're going to do a video In fact, a collaboration with the Dion, which is the Dion is like the IRS in the United States. So I'm working on producing some really good videos for you guys. I want to make sure everybody gets educated and everybody has the correct information. Do you have to pay in both countries taxes? Lido, great question. You don't. Now, if you pay whatever you pay taxes on in the United States, that's not taxes you'll pay in Colombia. And that's what my attorney said. There's like a double taxation law. You can't be taxed twice on the same income, right? That's what my accountant said. Tevzi asked, he escuchado mucho sobre la diferencia de la calidad de comida de Colombia versus en Estados Unidos. Te impactó mucho la diferencia de calidad. En el principio, hermano, la primera cosa que me extraña de mi país fue la comida. That was the first thing I missed, guys, when I was came to the Colombia was I missed the food first. I didn't eat beans. I didn't like beans. No me gustan los frijoles en el principio. But con tiempo, it's como like I started to like beans. I started to like rice and beef. Like toda la comida colombiano. I liked it. Eventually, I did, and now it's like, oh, que rico. Like I love Colombian food. Tough guy. Oh, you be squared away, bro. Enjoy your life down here in Colombia. I would, dial in personally. This is not financial advice, but if I was you, just dial in your expenses and invest the rest in the asset that you feel is the best one. This is not financial advice. I would invest in Bitcoin. Welcome, everybody. I love to have you guys here. I love chatting. So many people from different walks of life. And we've got veterans in here too. Love all my veterans. Shout out to all the veterans. South and Central America do not move at the same pace as the US. Even in cities, like Chris said, the culture and lifestyle is different. Absolutely, 100%, guys. 100%. ¿Qué te gusta más de la bandeja paisa? So, if you guys don't know what a bandeja paisa is, it's a dish with many different types of food. Um, and I personally like chicharron the most. I like chicharron. And chicharron is like a fried pig stomach. Is that right, Edwin? Fried pig stomach. And Familia Sanchez, my favorite Colombian dish is chicharron. Like chicharron. Que rico. Sorry, guys, for my dogs. How's everybody's weekend going? I'm so happy to have y'all here with us in the community. We are building something special, guys. A useful community where we can chat. My intention is to do one live stream a week with you guys about various topics. Everybody come together and we just share value, guys. It's like bacon on steroids. That's hilarious. What's up, my friends? Love to know where everybody's connecting to the chat from. Where is everyone from? We got Miami here. We've got Texas. We've got some Colombians here. Maho, I have not gained my Colombian citizen yet. I'm in my residency, and at the end of 2026 is when my attorney is going to be filing my citizenship paperwork for on my behalf. Space Coast, Florida. Shout out to Space Coast, Florida. Love Florida. If I was going to go back to the United States, I would either choose Florida or somewhere in the mountains. Like, yeah, definitely love Florida. Southern Florida, maybe. See, I got some more topics here we can chat about. Like people here in states, they have to pass a test to gain their citizenship. You know that test in Colombia is waived depending on certain factors. If you've got a degree, if you're married to a Colombian, I'm gonna double check to make sure I'm telling you all the right thing. I also went through the experience, guys, of having a child in Colombia. My wife and I had a baby while we were here. And, dealing with the embassy in Bogota, I did that experience, getting a certificate of birth of child abroad. I know how to do that. I've been to the embassy multiple times, so I can share with you guys my experience. We actually had to deal with the Dominican Republic, the embassy in the Dominican Republic, to get her social security card. So that was an interesting thing I was not expecting. Do you know of anyone who's gotten drugged or robbed in Colombia? Great question, tough guy, because I know that kind of information circulates around the internet. Personally, no. But to be honest, I don't hang out with any expats. Like, I don't have any American friends. I've never met anybody from the United States since I've been here in 4 years. I've been like isolated in rural Colombia. I did meet a really cool guy from New Zealand. He owns a restaurant called Ihamia. It's a chain actually. He's got like 4 or 5 restaurants. Super good guy. Really love New Zealand people. But no, I haven't known anybody, brother. But I'm also disconnected from the scene, so I don't have an opinion really on that. Um, Great question. In fact, I don't know exactly about the examination because the information I'm reading now conflicts with what I said earlier. So I'm going to make a whole video on it and I'm going to document my process of becoming a citizen. So I'm going to make sure you guys get the facts based on my lived experience. That's always my goal. Has your wife ever been to the United States? Yes, she has, Raphael. She has. We lived in the United States together for 3 years. In fact, we got married in the United States and we lived there first. That's where we started our life. So that whole process about, K1 marriage visas, I know how to do it. I can share experience on that. The green card visa, like all the paperwork, I did that without an attorney. I did it myself and with no kickbacks. So I can help you guys if you have any questions and want to bring your spouse to the United States. But yeah, we lived in the United States for 3 years. And after that whole thing happened in 2020, I'm going to share with you truthfully what really happened. I was reading the Bible and I was in Matthew. And in Matthew, there's a scripture about don't let your departure be before winter because it'll be too late. So, and I'm going to speak kind of vaguely, but if you know, you know. I was like, man, we got to get to Colombia quick because if we don't get to Colombia, then I'm going to be forced to do something that I don't want to do, and I won't be able to go into Colombia unless I do something that I don't want to do. So we beat him to the punch, and we didn't have to do the thing we didn't want to do. And then in winter, we would have had to do the thing we didn't want to do. Right? If you know, you know. Anyways, yeah, we sold our house, our car, and all that stuff in time to build our life here. And that was good. So yeah, for my Colombians, how's the food for plant-based eaters? With meat and seafood being a key part of the dishes. Um, Plant-based eaters with meat, seafood. Key part of the dishes. Yeah, Colombians eat a lot of meat, bro, and there's a lot of fish farms. So that's one of the things we actually want to start doing here to be more sustainable on our little homestead. Is basically have water coming in one point, dig a hole, put like a plastic tarp inside, and then put a bunch of trout in there. Keep the water flowing so you don't have tons of algae. But that's pretty common here in rural Colombia, fish farmers. I think it's really cool. I know a guy who does it. In fact, I'm going to maybe help him teach me to do it. I grew up in New York City, spent most of my adulthood in SoCal, now in Colombia. Congratulations, brother. So happy for you, my friend. Welcome. Welcome. Glad you made it, as somebody mentioned, out of the Matrix. A nice one, Raphael. Yeah, in fact, that's an interesting thing is shout out to my wife. She actually sacrificed her citizenship to come with me to the United States. She trusted me about what the Lord was telling me, and she had 3 years in the United States. She was on her way to be getting her citizenship, and she sacrificed that to follow me and build a life in Colombia. So if anybody says to you like, "Oh, these women just want citizenship, they just want green cards," like that's BS, right? We can't ever paint anybody in a general sense, right? We shouldn't do that, in my opinion. Everybody's different, guys, and everybody has their own motives. They have their own heart, right? So Tough Guy says, do you think the Colombian peso will stay strong, lessening the US citizens' buying power, or is the dollar expected to gain more power? The rate is 3,636 pesos to the dollar. That's a great question, bro. I've been asking myself that and I've been researching it like, man, I think in 2026 the dollar is going to float between 3,400 and maybe 3,800. As long as the US keeps printing money, as long as the US keeps printing money and keep lowering the interest rates, that's not going to do anything good for the exchange rate. So I would expect that the dollar to be weak against the peso so long as interest rates cuts keep coming. Do you own a separate dryer for your clothes? Do you have a dishwasher? Is a water purifier needed where you're at? Oh man, so many great questions. Yes, and Raphael's solar power would be cool to have, and I already priced it out. It will cost about $10,000 to $12,000 based on our needs. Um, so we have a washer dryer combo, but we barely ever use the dryer portion, and it's fully electric. My wife still hangs clothes. Um, and sometimes when it's really rainy and there's no sun, we'll use the dryer, but rarely. We don't have a dishwasher. Everything is washed by hand. And is a water purifier needed where you're at? In our situation, it's not needed. Um, our water comes. I'm going to do a whole video on our water supply. I'm going to show you guys the water supply, how it gets to our house. But our water is alkaline water. Um, and I'm also going to show you guys the pH testing. And when it comes to our house, we just boil it in like a 2 liter, electric cooker. And then once we pour it into a big pot, and once it's room temperature, we filter it in our glass ceramic filter, which also has activated charcoal. So our water comes out super pure, super delicious. Great water. Welcome, everybody. So good to have you guys here. We're going to run the live stream for another 30 minutes. I like to do it 2 hours with you guys at least once a week. Are there any U.S. products that you miss and can't get in Colombia, such as Dr. Pepper, Juicy Fruit Gum, Reese's Pieces candy, and certain cheeses? The products that I miss essentially are like craft beer. I really like a lot of American craft beer, but a buddy and mine are going to start brewing our own beer. So stay tuned for that, guys. We're going to get a couple of barrels and we're going to start something. But yeah, I would say mostly a beer. I can't think of much else, to be honest, because so many things, products in America are so processed. Like anything I would miss would be from Sprouts or, but that's like raw milk. I drink a lot of raw milk, guys. I love it. In fact, this is raw milk. It's got cacao in it and a raw egg. I like raw food. Super delicious. Are they all right, guys? What else? I love your guys' questions. Thank you guys so much for asking. You all help keep the channel moving in a good direction. Community. Appreciate you guys. You remind me of a gringo I met near Cali. He moved to Colombia after Vietnam and remained there. Not sure if he's still alive. He lived an idyllic life. Excellent. I hope he was a good guy, chill guy. Welcome, my friends. I'd love to have you guys here in the chat. And if you guys want to connect with me on a more personal level, this is one way we can do so. I'll share with you my phone number. And that's how we communicate. Essentially, how it would work is once you book the call, then you'll have access to my WhatsApp number. And then you send me a message. Hey, Chris, these times work for me. I want to talk to you about my personal situation. And I'm not stingy with time, bro. If you book 30 minutes, we might go 45 or maybe even an hour. Like, it's whatever. I'm a really relational person. As long as we get it done and you're happy is what works for me. Coffee is a big thing for expats who live in fincas or pueblos to get into. Do you cultivate coffee or have property with coffee trees? Man, tough guy. Nice questions, bro. I planted a coffee tree, but it actually didn't survive. So I need to up my coffee cultivation skills. But coffee grows everywhere where I live. Coffee grows everywhere. And I have friends who actually own a coffee distribution business. They buy it wholesale, and I can show you guys that process as well. I plan. There's so much content I have planned for this year. Um, yeah, so yeah, I love coffee. In fact, I roast it at home. Sometimes I buy it green from them, and then I roast it. How's everybody doing? I also want to invite you guys, my friends, to connect with me on Instagram if you want. I'll add you all to my close friends list. Share some more day to day things. Right now, we're working on a project, guys. I don't know if you're interested in boxing, but next Saturday is the intention on Saturday at 5 p.m. Saturday at 5 p.m. We are doing live boxing at my house and broadcasting it on YouTube. Now, that's the intention, and it's going to be me, an American versus a Colombian or a Venezuelan. Right now, we're kind of vetting some different fighters. I need to go to the alcaldía and register my boxing club. Most Colombians do not have a legitimate garage. Do you have one or plans to build one in the future? Yes, I do have a garage, actually. I have one. And I'm going to be showing you guys my house. I'm going to do a tour. Like that room is where I cultivate plants. The roof is clear, and it's also my sunbathing room where I go and I lay in the sun. This is my office. Over there is my ping pong table where me and the guys get together and we uh, host some ping pong tournaments sometimes. I love playing ping pong, guys. Downstairs is the gym. And in my driveway is where we're going to have the boxing matches, Lord willing. So I'm going to go talk with the mayor and see if I can kind of expedite the registration of the boxing club as a recreation. It's not a business. It's just this is our private recreational sport boxing team, and liability waivers, like the whole nine, to cover cover your ass, right? That's what they say, and to do everything safely. So I might have a nurse here or something, but the intention is to slug it out, guys. Slug it out live for all of you guys to see. Now, we're not professionals by any means. We're very much beginners, but the intention is that everybody enjoys the fight and can watch live. How much are you charging for interacting with you for any specific question? Well, like I said, in that private 30-minute one-on-one, you'll have access to my personal number, and I'm a relational person. I like to, treat you as a person and get to know you. And if we run the call for 45 minutes or even an hour, like, it's whatever, because ultimately I want to make sure that you get the information that you need and the time that we spend together is effective, right? I want to help you guys. I'm hoping the dollar gets stronger after election. Bro, me too, man. In Colombia, they're going to be changing presidents this year. That's what they say. I would love for the dollar to get stronger, bro. Damn. As a percentage, let me see. Majo says, Chris, we met a guy from the States that used to live in the city. Now he is in Santa Marta. He was a professional boxer. I can give his name if you want and getting in touch with him. I would love that. That'd be so cool. I would love that. Always interested in networking. Always interested in networking, guys. And by the way, last year when the peso was around 4,200 per dollar versus now, that's 18%, guys. That means everything is 18% more expensive, which is quite a bit of a difference. What do you do about healthcare? Great question. So we have health insurance. You pay monthly. It's actually mandated by the statute in Colombian law. You have to have health insurance. Okay, it's mandatory. So that's it. You should show the outdoor gyms and their creativeness if you have one there. Yes, absolutely. In fact, tough guy, in that video I posted about come spend a day with me in Cañas Gordas. Towards the end of the video, I show the cancha, the soccer field, and in the soccer field, there's an orange painted public training area. There's an orange painted. Yeah, so I should go work out there and see how it goes and give it a review. Today, in fact, when we end this live, I'm going to be posting a video for you guys. I was teaching my boy American football. Most Colombians have no idea how to throw a football, but my boy Julian, we call him Julio, he's a natural, dude. I showed him how to throw a football, and he threw one bad pass, but then after that, like, he was locked in. I was like, damn, bro, making me proud. My man was doing it. What do you do? Let's see. Santa Marta was his wife because he told us that in Santa Marta, his business about boxing are better. He helps some kids from the city. Yeah, in Barranquilla and Santa Marta, I am aware of they have some boxing clubs in the federation, which is pretty cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Majo. Yeah, please send me his number on Instagram and I'll reach out and we'll see how that flows. Our intention is to grow as a boxing team and start to travel around Colombia together and start to spar and train and document that whole process. I've always been a big fan of boxing and Mike Tyson, especially. I would love to be a heavyweight. I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'8.5", and I want to fight like Mike. Although I'm a little bit older, so I'm going to be mentoring up some younger guys and see what we can do. What's up, guys? Welcome everybody to the chat. There are American football teams in Medellin. My buddy from Penn State is on a team. Oh, cool, bro. That's super cool, man. I got to check that out. Sadly, the US dollar will continue to depreciate for some time. The Colombian peso is strong, mostly due to recent government indebtedness and the flood of narco dollars into the market. Interesting. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the chat. So good to have you guys here. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great weekend. Shout out to all the veterans in the chat and all of my Colombians, all my people back in the States, and all of you here with us tonight. Appreciate y'all being here. And thank you guys so much for your questions and comments. I appreciate that, Maho. Absolutely, guys. You know what? I'm just here to help. And it'll be cool when you guys touch down in Colombia. Get in touch with me. We'll see if we can have a tinto and have a chat in person. You know, one of my favorite things, guys, about living here is the cost of the fruits. Like, I can go down to the street and get a whole bag. I made a video about it. You can get super cheap fruits, extremely cheap. And I have a buddy of mine that lives in Bogota, and we're going to collaborate. While I'm in the United States, I'm going to be still producing content because also the content that I have saved, but he's also going to be creating content for me and sending it to me so we can do like comparatives. You know, like, damn, look at these price of these bananas, and then, you know, a comparative of cost of living. You know, one thing about visas too that I'm super happy about in Colombia is that it only takes 30 days. Like, as my lawyer pointed out, like, generally takes 30 days, maximum 45 days. But in the United States, you can never get a visa or something processed that quickly. Like, there's a backlog. My wife had to wait 2 years for her visa appointment to go to the United States. 2 years, guys. We applied online, we paid the money, and then we waited for 2 years just for her to go. And we had to fly to Bogota. And yeah, it was a long way, guys. Great question, tough guy. Yeah, we do have a steep hill. In fact, we just built placahuellas, which is like a street, a type of street made of concrete and barilla and stuff. So we're gonna start running up that hill for sure. How much boxing experience do you have, bro? Mostly just from the barrio. Like, growing up in California, we used to box a lot and we used to fight and stuff. And what weight am I at? I'm at 85 and a half kilos. The most I've weighed was while I was here was 88. Like, I was really trying to push my weight, but I'm at about 188 pounds right now. Truly, I want to be a heavyweight boxer, but I've never been able to push the envelope on 200 pounds, and I would love to be 200 pounds though. I would feel good. I have the resident visa, bro. I have a resident visa, and my wife is Colombian. She's a paisa. She's from the same town that I live, Cañas Gordas. That's why we came here in particular. Man, I lost weight when I lived there a few months. Yeah, a lot of walking. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, I believe that would be cruiserweight. The guy that I'm supposed to be fighting, he's taller than me, but he weighs a little bit less. But he's taller than me. He's a CrossFitter. So like stamina wise, I think he's gonna. I think I gotta. He might outlast me, so I gotta really be careful about my energy because those CrossFitters they got some good stamina. But I'm waiting on the confirmation, guys. As soon as I get confirmation, I'm gonna publish everything. I'm gonna post the thumbnail, the live, everything is gonna be posted to the channel. I've always dreamed about having live boxing and having videos like, oh, I started my own boxing club in Colombia and really start something here in the town. Because I think it's so much fun. Boxing is so entertaining and it's such a good, great sport. Men just boxing it out, going toe to toe. Yeah, I agree, bro. Sometimes the food ain't filling. So, what about y'all? What is y'all favorite food? Like, tell me, what is your favorite meals? What are your favorite meals? And I want to ask guys, what videos do you want to see next? I want to know it by priority, like what do the people want? Sopa de res and all those fruit juices. Yeah, bro. Man. Yeah, these soups out here are so good, bro. Sancocho. Like we raise chickens at home. We just go buy a bunch of these little pollitos and we just throw them in the little spot and feed them every day and they grow fast, like in like 2 months we got a whole rack of chickens, bro. And I don't really have the heart to kill the animals, but my mother-in-law does. My suegra. No hay problema. I'd love to see those matches. Oh man, that's great, bro. I'm glad. Would love to see you there live. The intention is that on Saturday, the 31st, the guys show up 1 hour before the match starts. We sign the paperwork, the liability waivers. We set up the cameras. We're going to film it on 3 different cameras, or record rather. And the day before, we're going to do the weigh-ins just like they do. Um, yeah, bro. I don't have the heart to kill them, but I got the heart to eat them for sure. That chicken be fire. It's so much better than what you can get at the store. We also started raising rabbits, and then rabbit population just exploded. We actually didn't eat any of the rabbits either. But if there's ever apocalypse, guys, 100%, we're getting rabbits and we're going to eat them because they'll just eat what's around. You don't really have to go and buy them concentrated food. They can live right on the land. You can feed them what grows wild and they multiply quickly and they're super easy to clean. Like once you kill them, like you can put them up and just snap their little necks and then you can just kind of like get inside where their fur is and just kind of rip it out and all of the fur comes right off in the skin and you got the meat right there. In Barranquilla, I enjoy a good sancocho de carne salado and guandu or sancocho de costilla. That sounds nice, bro. I love the coast, man. And I love the people from the coast. They're super relaxed. I got to try all those things that you're talking right there, bro. I'm going to write that down because I'm planning on going to Santa Marta when I get back from the United States. I'm planning it. I got a boy out there from Canada, actually. He invited me to stay with him. So that's what we're planning. Content on buying land and building a home in Colombia and hiking. You know what? I do have some content that I'm ready to post, and I want to actually start doing. I want to demonstrate what's available for sale in my area because I know people that want to sell their land right away, and they're nice fincas. They're nice properties. They got water, and it would be great to showcase that for you guys, and then have them speak in Spanish, and I'll go ahead and put the subtitles down in English if it's necessary. Well, I'm going to do that anyways. If I make content speaking in Spanish, expect English subtitles, and vice versa. So, content on buying land and building a home. Perfect. And hiking too. Man, there's some great places to hike, but I wouldn't recommend just going off into the jungle. You don't want to run into something you don't want to run into, if you know what I'm saying. Better you go to like national parks and places that are clearly defined for hiking. I think that's good risk management. Yeah, guys, building a home was one of the most difficult things I've ever done because, we had a lot of setbacks. We wasted a lot of money with poor workmanship. We did trial and error. But eventually we landed with the best guys in town, in my opinion. The first time I had a live, I actually had plans for them to join me and speak with you guys, but they couldn't make it, unfortunately. Yeah, Colombia is not really known for their cuisine. Most of the food is not processed. That's right. True. However, there are some really special dishes, guys. Like in my town in particular, they have a thing called arepa paisa. So they take like arepas and then they add all kinds of meat and like chorizo and kind of special sauces. I think I have a video on my channel, short. It was delicious, super good. Do you know anyone who did adjustment of status instead of fiance visa? I don't, bro. Are you talking about a U.S. immigration adjustment of status? I actually believe that I did adjustment of status. I think because once it's based on memory. Once you do the K1 and your spouse flies using the K1 visa, okay, you promise to marry within 90 days, then you get married. You need to adjust your status after you marry. So you file the paperwork. Now, it's different in the United States. Like you don't have to so much worry about your visa. Like if you file the paperwork with USCIS and your paperwork is in the process, I wouldn't worry about getting kicked out or being penalized. Like as long as you did what you had to do, you and, 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 and abide by the law. Now, my attorney broke it down really well in that video that I posted because, yeah, here in Colombia, like you have to be diligent and on the ball because you cannot stay any longer than what your visa has to stay at any time. Otherwise, you become irregular, and that causes all kinds of problems for you. But in the United States, I've dealt with USCIS multiple times. And I would say that as long as you file your paperwork and you pay their fee and you're in the system, like you're pretty much good to go, right? In good faith, right? Do everything in good faith, do what you're supposed to do, abide by the law, and you don't have to worry. Um, Content on sustainability and farming. Oh, cool. That's a topic I really love, guys. I'm glad that some of y'all are interested in farming and sustainability. One thing that's really cool about here is we didn't ever even planted papayas, and we just composted them and some of those seeds sprouted. Now we've got these big papaya trees. Another thing is pumpkins. I never planted a pumpkin seed on my property, but somehow a pumpkin seed sprouted, and then all of a sudden we had 35 or 40 pumpkins all across the land. Super delicious pumpkins too. I went ahead and put them in a food processor and grinded them up and then made like a pumpkin raw milk smoothie. It was delicious. Solar power. Yeah, I already sourced it out. That was last year, so of course the prices are higher, but between 10, maybe up to 15,000 to cover our roof with multiple solar panels. In the works, guys. As soon as I get the money for that, I'm going to buy it. I promise. Did you say that you know some people who have homes and land for sale? If so, what are the price ranges? Great job, tough guy. I did say that. And the one guy in particular, local business owner, he has a super nice land, 10 hectares for sale with land
I got some videos. In fact, bro, reach out to me on Instagram and I'll send you the videos that I have. I have it on this other cell phone. I have the videos. Maybe I'll be able to demonstrate it here for you guys here on the live. But yeah, he's selling it for 250,000 US. Now, for what it is, I mean, his property has tons of fruit trees. Beautiful. And I demonstrated that in the video as well. But yeah, he's eager to sell it. He's looking to sell it. And I could have bought that property, but I didn't know about it at the time. Like I said, guys, take your time when you're shopping for a property, look around. There's all kinds of properties for sale, and you want to make sure that you get the right one and don't rush it. There's plenty of property for sale, guys. Plenty. Chris, the boxing guy named Danny Santiago. Google his name. He was a professional boxer. I will share with you his phone number. Thank you so much, Maho. I appreciate you sharing this information. We definitely want to network with professionals, with people with more experience. As I said, we're not claiming to be a professional club. We're amateurs, but we're hungry to become better and we want to show everybody our club and we want to fight live for you guys to watch. Yes, it has a beautiful view, bro. Absolutely beautiful. Spectacular, in fact. Is he Colombian and he wants dollars, bro. He wants dollars. He is Colombian and he specifically mentioned he wants 250,000 US. That's what he said. But super nice guy. I really like his property. In fact, I'm still looking for the video here because I want to show you guys. And if anybody knows how to improve these lives, like I want to start being able to put videos and pictures and other things into the lives. Like I would love to make these lives so much better, guys. I want to. I want to say I appreciate you guys tuning in. I love your guys' questions. It's 10 hectares, bro. So I think that's more like 30 acres. 10 hectare. It's 24.7 acres. And it comes with a house, actually. Excuse me. It comes with a house, big, nice kitchen. I mean, it's like a Colombian style. It's a little bit of an older house. But as I mentioned before on the first live, like, don't focus so much on the house, more on the land. Like, the land is worth so much more than the house, for sure. You would, do I have to convert to Colombian pesos? Great question, bro. Tough guy. Why don't you email me and we can talk serious about it? Email me all your questions, any contact information. If you have a WhatsApp phone number, in fact, I can go speak with him tomorrow and I can upload all the videos to Google Drive and send them to you directly because I did take lots of videos. And I'm still trying to find them here. Super nice land. What's up, guys? Try to have you explain or pay taxes. Yeah, that's worthy of a video in itself, guys. Taxes, because we got to talk about the foreign earned income exemption. We got to talk about declaring your renta. Um, what made you move where you moved, or to over to be? What made you even go to a small town? Great question, Lido, bro. It's because I married a Colombian and she's from Cañas Gordas. So naturally, when we came, we just came to where was familiar to us, where we had family. Great question, bro. And I'm so excited to share that too. In 2017, I actually met her on Tinder, bro. And I just started flying to Bogota. And then we went to Providencia Island, which is a smaller island close to San Andres. Providencia Island is closer to Nicaragua than it is Colombia. Interesting. Yeah, bro. You just jumped on there and started fishing, bro, so to speak. And yeah, hit that premium version, and you can travel anywhere in the world to meet women. And yeah, it's worked out, bro. 7 years married, happy. We built a life together. We have a 3-year-old together. We have a child, and our child is a dual citizen. So we also, have experience in doing all the paperwork to get a dual citizenship. Hey, Trevor, I appreciate you being here, brother. Thank you for your questions, man. Always welcome here. Welcome everybody to the community. I love sitting here chatting with you guys. I feel so comfortable. Just have a great time here, man. This is fun. I appreciate you, bro. My intention is every Saturday, guys, except for next Saturday, we're supposed to be having live boxing. So stay tuned. If you see me posting live boxing, de una. But if it's going to be another live like this, that means the boxing either we didn't get our club registered or we couldn't find a fighter. So those are two things we're trying to do right now. Have a great night, brother. God bless you in Jesus' name. So happy to have you guys here, my friends. This is our community. Gabriel says people don't realize how many legit Colombian women there are out there because of the Medellin buzz around women just expecting things. Colombia is a huge, diverse country. My wife Colombian too. Bro, ain't that the truth, man? It's really annoying to see content online when people just talking smack either, and then they just spread those ideas, and it's not really fair, bro. Because I feel that there's so many honest, humble, beautiful people in Colombia, and they don't fit any of those stereotypes. I tell you, from my experience, this is a whole topic. Colombian women are super um, cariñosa, right? They're so cariñosa. They're so like caring and loving. They look at the details. They care about birthdays and special dates. Like they really like. I feel it's so real love, bro. It's really authentic. Yeah, bro. In small towns, definitely should, bro. Come check out Cañas Gordas, bro. Lots of nice women out here. Women who ride horses, and they're so put together. They take care of themselves. They don't leave the house unless they're looking right. Presentation is very important, and I appreciate that so much, bro. And they're very proud about their homes, how everything looks. They want their house in order. They want um, I don't know. They want to be everything in order. At least that's my experience, bro, and it's been great. Presentation. Oh, your shoes, guys. Colombia. In Colombia, your shoes. Make sure your shoes are clean. Because the first thing that Colombians do when you see them, when you meet, is they'll look down at your shoes. They'll judge you based on your shoes, for sure. That's right, bro. Shorts are not a common style. Yeah. Yeah, facts, bro. In fact, like you should see the way my wife has the shoes lined up. Like, oh, they'll take them apart too. Like, they'll take out the sole, they'll take off the shoestrings. Like, they'll clean it from top to bottom. Every crevice of the shoe, they got to get in there and clean it. It's very impressive. Like brand new, bro. They'll take some shoes that are like a little bit dusty and they'll clean them like new. And you'll be like, damn, I got some new shoes. No joke. What's up, everybody? Like a sneakerhead. Facts. I'd love to invite you guys to be friends with me on Instagram. I post things on my story. You can also check me out on Facebook, Chris Wolf. And the town I live in is called Cañas Gordas, so we can be friends and connect on there as well. Y'all can send me messages. We can chat. Like I said, this is community, guys. I want to be accessible to y'all. I want to be an asset, a resource, boots on the ground, right? Consider me like boots on the ground. Yeah. The idea is reach out to me and be like, bro, like, can you do a video about this? I'm like, oh, for sure. I got you. And we'll get that done. And if you have questions too, like, the idea is if you have any anxiety about coming to Colombia, is that we like resolve those anxieties and we move forward practically and we come up with a plan. And I also want to say, guys, man, 4th of July is going to be cracking because I found this fireworks shop. And when I went to the fireworks shop, the guy was actually from my small town. And so the plan is for the 4th of July is to celebrate Independence Day in Colombia, American style. And I'm going to drop like $1,000 because if you guys see this video, um, you can buy super nice fireworks for like cheap. It cost me $13, and it's like the ones that like shoot up. It was called the Hercules, right? So with $1,000, bro. For give y'all an example, I don't know if you guys know anything about fireworks, but there was this big box. It was like the size, it was like this big. I was like, man, how much did that cost? He said 800,000 pesos, $200 more or less. And he said that it lasted for 3 minutes. Can you imagine a firework that shoot off for 3 minutes? Like, damn. For me, that's worth it. Vale la pena. Yeah, in the States, they're so stingy with the fireworks. Like, I live a lot of years in Nevada and California. You got to go all the way to the Indian reservations. I seen that, bro. Thank you so much, tough guy. We'll be in touch, bro. I promise. We're going to handle that. Definitely. I'm going to upload those videos and send you the links so you can see. Yeah, they're so stingy with fireworks in the United States. So I'm really glad that it's not like that in the United States, in Colombia, excuse me. Let me see if I can show y'all the video with the fireworks. Man, I love having you guys here, man. It's so cool to get to know y'all. Have such a good time every time we have lives. I appreciate you subscribing, Gabriel. Welcome to the community, brother. Tell me about the fireworks that they put into those miniature hot air balloons. Bro, I'm not familiar. Tell me more. See if y'all can see this. See if y'all can see this. This was $13 for this firework right here. That's pretty good, right? Good little show for $13. Damn, I wonder how much that would cost in the States. Yeah, no sandals, bro. What's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome, everybody, to the live stream. Love having you guys here. You ever guys out in Antioquia, let me know. Would love to show you guys around my town. I actually want to start doing some hosting some sort of getaways or, for example, people that are afraid of coming to Colombia. Well, get in touch with me and we'll figure out a plan to where I can pick you up at the airport. I can take you to Medellin, give you a tour, and then we can go to my small town. Can show you the small town. It just depends on what you guys want. I mean, we could do anything. We can even take the car to the coast. Like the idea is to have a good experience and have an authentic experience to show people really what Colombia is about, and what it's like. Would love to host some people. They mainly do it in the beginning of December. Nice, bro. Yeah, you're right. In December, there's huge amounts of fireworks, just tons of fireworks. I love December, dude. December is such a festive family month, but it's also a difficult time to find workers, at least in the small towns, because everybody's drinking. Brother, how far am I right now? 2.5 to 3 hours. At best, you can get to Medellin in 2.5 hours, but most of the time it takes about three. But they're building a tunnel, which will reduce the time like hour and a half. Once the tunnel is finished, it'll take us much faster to Santa Fe de Antioquia, and after that, we'll be able to go straight to Medellin. So, how's the weather there? Tropical mountain climate, rains a lot. It does, bro. In fact, Mecca, it rains a lot here. But we have dry seasons, and then so you have summer and winter, wet and dry season. And the hottest it's ever been here was, I think, 32 Celsius, which comes out to be like 89. That was the hottest I've ever felt. Not much hotter than that. That's right. Absolutely facts, bro. Can't get that much done in December. Yeah, guys. So if you're coming to Colombia, just have a little patience. Definitely watch the immigration video. Apply what my attorney said. He dropped a lot of game in that video. Tons of game. Any flooding issues? Yeah, sometimes it floods a little bit. The streets, not bad, manageable, but it does wash out a lot of the lots of rocks and things will come off from the mountains into the road and the street, and then the government comes and cleans it up. But not too bad, guys. We do have landslides. So that's a bit of an issue, but yeah, not a big deal. We take care of it. Sometimes it is kind of a big deal because it blocks the roads and it takes a long time. For example, I went to a place called Mutata, and it took 4 hours to get there instead of the usual hour and a half or 2 hours, which kind of sucked. So, well, guys, I want to send you guys a couple of links. Once again, if you are interested in teaching English, this is where I teach English part time. That's my referral link. If you use it to sign up, they'll give you a little bit of money. They'll give me a little bit of money, like $10. But I definitely recommend Native Camp for teaching. It's one way that you can earn income while you're living in Colombia. If you want to chat with me, this is the link to have and book a call with me. After that, you'll have access to my personal WhatsApp number, and we'll be connected on WhatsApp. Santa Marta by Boca Grande. Thank you for sharing that, bro. I'll keep that in mind. I'm going to be going in April, I think, to Santa Marta. So be good to know. What else, guys? If you want to be friends on Instagram, I invite you. I post things in my story that you can't see on YouTube. A lot of day to day life, a lot of different content. YouTube is essentially for the shorts and for the long form value in different ways. What else, guys? Thank you guys again so much. I want to share my email with you. Please send me email if you have any ideas for content. right? The idea is to make this channel as useful, invaluable as possible so we can serve the community, the expat community, and create content that answers the questions that you're looking to have answered. Once again, guys, it's been a real privilege and a pleasure to have you guys here in class. And I'm really thankful to have the opportunity to meet so many wonderful people from all different areas. Tough guy, I'll be responding to your email, bro. Um, Thank you so much for your interest. I'm sure the guy selling his land is going to be thrilled when I tell him. And thank you guys for all your comments, adding a bunch of value to the chat. I have chat replay on, so I hope that we can see that posted. And once again, I apologize earlier for my internet. Rural Colombia internet is a little bit unreliable, but I'm switching to Starlink. Okay, I promise, guys, I'm going to get Starlink. That's my word. If there's nothing else, guys, I think that's going to be about it for tonight. Appreciate you guys showing up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao, pues. Good night, my friends. It's my pleasure, brother. Reach out to me, Lito, on Instagram. I'd like to have a chat with you, bro. La buena.